Hello, everyone, and welcome to Counselor Ear Feature Friday. I'm your host, Brian Urban. In these features, we hope to give you some simple tips, tidbits, and tricks to make your days easier and your patients happier. In this feature, we're going to focus on the audit trails for individual appointments, visits, and invoices. These are tools that enable you to see the history of those appointments, visits, and invoices very quickly to see what happened, when it happened, and who made that change. So we're going to start here at the schedule level, and we are going to select an appointment. Within the pop-up window here, there is a history option in the bottom left-hand corner. When you select that option, it's going to show you all the changes that have been made to this appointment over time. So once again, you can see when the change was made, who made the change, and what the change actually was. So in the case where you have maybe a patient who rescheduled 3 times and then calls back and says, hey, can I have my original time? You of course can look back and see that full history. Or maybe someone inadvertently changed a 60-minute appointment to 30 minutes and you want to set it back, or you want to find out who made that change to talk with them about why that change occurred. So this gives you a very quick reference. This information, by the way, is also available from within the patient's profile screen, right? So within the Appointments Visits tab, you can simply hover over the appointment and you will see that same audit trail, that same history. All right, so let's move on to visits. So we'll jump into a patient visit here. Within the patient visit, there is an option in the bottom left-hand corner for Visit Record Audit Trail. This is where you can see every time that this visit was saved. And you'll notice just by the timestamps that counselor, as you're moving through the process, right, when you're going from the main screen into the history, for example, or into the audiogram, and then back to the main screen, it is saving each time you make those transitions. And so you see you have a lot of saves kind of built in, even if you're not saying save every time you make a change. Now, what the audit trail enables you to, of course, is to go back and see what this visit looked like before. So you can go ahead, pick the that point in time, and you can view what was going on then, right? What information had been added. You kind of, if you go through each save, of course, you start to see the data and the report build. Now, it's very important to note that you cannot edit the visit at this point, right? You'll see at the bottom, it just has an option for back current patient visit. You can absolutely, like maybe if you want to copy something, maybe there was a great phrase you had and then you removed it and I want that back. You can very easily just copy this, go back to the current visit, and then paste that into the current history or chart note or wherever you're working. But yes, you can go in and out of all these different areas. When you've finished seeing what you need to see, then of course you just click back to the current visit. Like with the appointment audit trail, this audit trail tells you, of course, the user as well. So if you are working with students, for example, this would give you the opportunity to see specifically where they were working, and kind of what their process was along the way. All right, let's move on to invoicing. Within the invoice itself, there is an option right here in the bottom center called History. And this is once again going to give you the audit trail of the time, who made the change, and what change occurred. Now, this audit trail, of course, there can be a lot to this. If you have a lot of items added, maybe you made adjustments, payments came in, you imported a remittance, you perhaps you use the QuickBooks or Zero syncs, you will see the audit trail for those actions. So this can be a great way to find out, particularly for invoicing, gosh, something seems strange about this invoice. Let's go back and look at the history and see exactly what the sequence was and see if we can figure out what may have changed or when it changed or who made that change. So between these various, of course, audit trails, our goal is that you can really see what happened for appointments, for visits, and invoices. This is helpful for you for troubleshooting. It's also, of course, very helpful for the counselor support team as we help you solve resolve any questions that you may have. So, of course, if you have any questions about this audit trail tracking, please give us a call, email us, live chat us. We are always happy to help. Thank you very much for joining us for today's Counselor Ear Feature Friday. And as always, have a wonderful, wonderful weekend.